We're a 2,000 strong team, and this is what we've been working towards for so long, and we hope this can be a moment that can sort of kickstart our season and we can take the fight for more victories.
This episode of The Winning Formula is a part of our Accelerating Leadership series in partnership with the Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS F1 Team, where we explore the through lines between business, insights, and the Formula One world. We are here today with two of the most special guests we could have. We are here with the Mercedes-AMG Team CEO and owner Toto Wolff and F1 Canadian Grand Prix winner 2025, George Russell. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
I really want to kind of start, it's fresh. From either one of you, what do you think of the race? How all the things that have occurred during the season to have a double podium, George winning the race, any kind of initial reaction coming out of that?
Obviously for us, it's been so much hard work throughout this season, and every time you get a victory, it means so much to us, everyone at the track, but most importantly to everybody who's back at the factory. We're a 2,000 strong team, and not everybody sees that when you watch Formula One on your television on a Sunday afternoon. And this is what we've been working towards for so long, and we hope this can be a moment that can sort of kickstart our season and we can take it up a gear and take the fight for more victories.
Yeah, it's also that how it went about. That wasn't, that was a victory based on pure performance. The car was good straight from the get-go. George's driving was fantastic all weekend. There was not a second in the race that he didn't dominate the competition. And winning it like this and finishing with Kimi on his first podium, I think it doesn't go much better.
Yeah, and Kimi isn't with us today. School first, right? Of course, right? That's important factor. How important is it during the season and from start to finish, it's a long season, like remaining resilient and also showcasing guidance to Kimi in his first season, knowing the ups and downs, knowing how long the season is for both of you in terms of thinking about how you can kind of be that presence for him?
I think, how it's fallen into place now between George and Kimi and also the team is something that's been built for a long time. We have been having Kimi under our wings since he was 11, a small child in his early karting days, and not so dissimilar from George, who's been with us. We met when he was 16 or 17. And then of course, Kimi 18, his mom is keen that he finishes school, which is quite exceptional. We're sitting here and he's doing his exams. But also have no doubt that the two of them are very competitive also with each other, but there's just a good ambience in the team. We're working together to make this car fast, bring it in a position that we are, fighting for world championships, and it's clear seniority is on George's side and also the performance as it stands. But it's good.
Love that. And kind of build that, a part of kind of all the success you just mentioned in George is you don't see all the people involved in this, right? There's so many people involved in this success and a win and a podium. How do you take, Toto, the kind of factors around business success and what you've built and looking at the business world and applying those principles to how you run the team, how you oversee, the ups and the downs and all the things that go into actually managing a successful team?
George made a good point by saying, there's what you see on the racetrack is the tip of the iceberg. It's the two drivers, the top management, the odd 100 people. And back in the factories, we have 2,500. And for me, the way I see the organization is there's not just two superstars or the three of us that are more visible in the media. It's 2,500 superstars. Everybody in their role contributes to the team's success, and that's also how we manage the organization, and that's very similar to any other, let's say, conventional business. With the difference is that we are being benchmarked every single weekend. I have a smile on my face when companies that are public, quoted on Nasdaq, say when long-term development is pretty much scrutiny to the earnings, quarterly earnings, and that's difficult, to meet, to kind of meet both ends. And I say, hold on a minute, we are reporting 24 times a year, and if we're good, we're the geniuses. If we have a bad race, then it's the end of the Mercedes era. So, but very similar.
Yeah, and kind of also building off of that, George, I know you've seen this in the era of the modern athlete. There's the idea of not just what you do on the track or on the field or whatever sport you play, but also what you're doing off of it from a business perspective. Obviously, we have someone like Toto who's built a business, gone into racing and built a successful team. Have you begin to think about, what are the areas, what are my interests, what are areas that I might want to kind of delve into from a business standpoint, aside from the track?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is important because we're so ingrained in the racing, and sometimes it takes over your life. And when you have positive races like yesterday, of course, you wake up on a Monday morning and you're feeling great. When things aren't quite going your way, you need to find those ways to disconnect, to be able to take any negative situation, take the positives from it, and really bounce back. And sometimes those small distractions actually aid your performance, and that's something I've learned over time and with experience. To a degree, just having those distractions have been really beneficial for me. And when I look at some other athletes, the likes of Roger Federer and what he's done towards the end of his career and his business ventures have been really inspirational. And obviously LeBron is doing amazing things as well. And it's something that is on my radar, but I'm 27 years old at the moment. I don't even feel I've got anywhere close to the peak of my performance yet. It's something in the back of my mind, and something I'll think stronger about maybe in 5 or 6 years after a few championships.
Yeah, it's a great answer. And actually, as a part of that, this actually could be for both of you. Toto, you mentioned this, sticking with your people, regardless, having the trust in the team, no matter what's going on, the influences around, trusting your team and sticking with them and having faith in them. I think this is, a manifestation of you doing that. For both of you, both for George, thinking about, how it's been, being on with Toto's team, and then of course for you, Toto, that philosophy, maybe from a business standpoint and for this team. Where does that come from, the idea of sticking with your people, and how important is that to kind of maintain a successful season?
I think it comes back to the point of trust, integrity, having the right values. Humility is an important one. And if you have a person that kind of embodies that and is able to challenge themselves whilst being competent, but the kind of reinvention, because a sports team is not a static organism. It's dynamic, which have change of rules. You need to constantly evolve with those rules, and having an honest introspection and say, what is it I can do better? This is kind of what glues us together, but it all starts with the values. The most competent person, if that person is not integral, humble, respectful, has no place in our organization.
Love that. And I love that answer around resilience. It's a theme that I think can be taken throughout this season. And in terms of this season, could be the most recent for both of you, the race that you're proudest of this season so far coming in. It could be the one that just, resulted in a victory. It could be another one where the results may have not been there, but you saw resolve in the team. Whatever you both think has been kind of the race you're proudest of this season.
I think for me, probably the first race of the season, because there's a lot of expectations going into a season. We knew that we didn't have the fastest car that race weekend. It was Kimi's first race, so of course it was a big moment for the team, and we had a very difficult Saturday, and suddenly on Sunday the weather came in, there was rain, it was a bit of chaos, and we all stuck together and we came through, and we finished P3 and P4, which are not the results that we're striving for, but that meant a lot for us as a team, starting off the season so strongly, and how we dealt with such challenging conditions while others were making mistakes. We had a pretty flawless race, and I think that gives us the confidence for the future, because when we do have a race car that's quick enough to win, we're there for the taking, as we were yesterday in Canada.
I love that.
I'm really bad with remembering past races.
Well, just think about the one yesterday.
Yeah, so yesterday was a pretty good one, and I think it's an important moment also for the year that we have some more understanding of what are the factors that make us perform well, and slowly but surely we are comprehending this better. And on the other side, the most important is always the next one.
Love to end on that note. Thank you so much. So that was the winning formula presented by the Mercedes-AMG PETRONAS Formula 1 team. I'm your host, Joel Kalani. Toto and George, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
See you next time.